the price of unconditional love. He had sworn to ease her pain, to shield her from the harsh realities of the world. He believed his love could be her armor, her sanctuary. But true love, he began to realize, was not about building walls, but about giving her the space and freedom to flourish. His mentors, the Stoics of old, whispered their wisdom to him across the centuries. One cannot control the world, they warned, only one's own reaction to it. He saw the truth in their words. By trying to control her world, he was depriving her of her freedom to act, her resilience, her very essence. The illusion of control. He wanted her happiness more than anything, but he saw that true happiness couldn't be given, only discovered. It was in the struggles, the setbacks, the triumphs that she would forge her own path, her own identity. He began to understand that his role was not to dictate her choices, but to support her in her own decisions, to be her rock, not her cage. It was a difficult lesson, this letting go of the illusion of control. But in surrendering to this new understanding, he felt a weight lift from his shoulders. The tension that had settled between them began to dissipate, replaced by a newfound respect and a deeper, more authentic connection. The burden of her happiness. He had placed the weight of her happiness solely on his own shoulders, a burden too heavy for any one person to bear. It was an impossible task, one that was destined to leave them both unfulfilled and incomplete. The Stoics taught him that happiness was not a destination, but a consequence of a virtuous life. It was about focusing on what he could control, his own thoughts, actions, and reactions. He began to focus on his own growth, to cultivate wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance within himself. He realized that the best way to love her was to be the best version of himself. The desire to possess, to claim her as his own, was a seductive trap. It promised security and control, but ultimately led to jealousy, insecurity, and resentment. He had to remind himself that she was not his, but a free spirit on her own path. Their paths might intersect, even run parallel for a time, but they were ultimately their own. He learned to appreciate her individuality, her strength, her independence. He rejoiced in her successes, comforted her in her failures, and respected her choices, even when they differed from his own. Letting go wasn't about giving up on love, but embracing its truest form. It was about allowing space for growth, for evolution, for the unexpected turns that life inevitably throws our way. He discovered that true love wasn't about holding on tightly, but about holding gently, with open hands and an open heart. It was about trusting her judgment, respecting her boundaries, and believing in her strength. It was an ongoing practice, this letting go. There were moments when fear threatened to pull him back, when the need for control resurfaced. But he learned to meet these moments with awareness, guided by the wisdom of the Stoics. The paradox of true love. He realized that the more he tried to hold on to her, the more she seemed to slip away. But the more he embraced her freedom, the stronger their bond became. It was a paradox, this dance between holding on and letting go, but it was in this delicate balance that love truly flourished. He stopped trying to change her, to mold her into his ideal. He began to see her imperfections as the brushstrokes that made her the unique and beautiful soul she was. He learned to love her not in spite of her flaws, but because of them. It was in her vulnerability, her imperfections, that he found the most profound beauty. The Stoic lover. He was becoming the Stoic lover, a man who understood that love was not a weakness but a source of strength. It was not a bargaining chip, but a gift freely given, without expectation or demands. He found peace in accepting what was, in focusing on his own virtue, in loving her deeply and truly, while letting go of the need to control. He knew that life was unpredictable, that their paths might diverge, that loss was an inherent part of living. But he also knew that the love they shared, the lessons they had learned, would stay with him, enriching his life long after the final curtain fell. A love that empowers. He no longer sought to confine her, but to make her stronger. He encouraged her dreams, celebrated her victories, and offered a steady hand to help her up when she stumbled. He knew that true love wasn't about possession but about mutual growth, about two individuals choosing to walk side by side, supporting, challenging and inspiring each other to become the best versions of themselves. That was the legacy he wanted to leave behind. Not of a love that suffocates, but of a love that sets free. A love that gave her the strength to soar to heights she never thought possible. Join the journey. Love, like life, is a journey of constant learning and growth. It demands courage, wisdom, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. Subscribe now and join us as we delve deeper into the Stoic principles that can help you cultivate stronger, healthier, and more fulfilling relationships.